Are you dealing with a narcissist and wondering how will they react if I try to expose them? By the end of this video, not only am I going to tell you exactly how they react, but I'm going to tell you what to do about it so that you don't get burned. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I'm a narcissist negotiation expert. I have been recognized as a top 1% attorney, and I've written a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And what I do here on this channel is I teach people how to negotiate with narcissists. That's you. So if you're dealing with a narcissist in any kind of situation where you have to negotiate, whether it's in business or in your personal life, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get notified when I upload brand new content. All right, let's talk about that narcissist and what happens to them when they become exposed. Well, let me just tell you that that is definitely their worst fear. They do not want to be exposed. And so they will do whatever they need to. I mean, basically, they walk around with kind of two versions of themselves. There's that little inner child, that little scared little person inside. And then there's these layers and layers and layers of who they want to be, who they want to become, who they want the world to think that they are. And so they make sure that the perception is absolutely what they want it to be. So they're going to do whatever they need to protect that perception. And I always say that that's their like grade A diamond level version of supply. You know, they need an endless amount of narcissistic supply, which is anything that feeds their ego. So it could be adulation or compliments or having the right friends or being in the right places or having the most beautiful home or the right car or the prestigious job or the, whatever it is, all those things give them a sense of value and worth from the external side. And if they're not going to get it that way, then they're going to get it the other way, which is what I call the grade D coal level supply, which is like it burns, it gives them energy. It's not as good. It's like there's this hierarchy of supply. But the grade D coal level supply is, I'm going to make you miserable. I'm going to make you squirm. I'm going to intimidate you. I'm going to try to scare you. And in their warped sense of reality, they think that they're getting you to respect them when you act like that. They really kind of mistake fear of them or fear of what they're going to do or fear of the retribution or any of that sort of thing for like, now you're respecting me. Now you're giving me the attention that I want. And so they'll get supply from that way as well. I mean, they're really supply whores. They're like sharks that smell blood in the water. Wherever they can get it from, that's where they're going to get it from. What I want to do is at the end of this, I'm going to give you some exact ways to combat exposing them, especially in negotiations, which is what I teach you how to do. You don't want to just go ahead and expose them if you're getting ready to negotiate with them right away, because that will definitely be something that you can threaten. It's a diamond level source of supply. So you can definitely threaten that source of supply. And that's going to be a fantastic source of leverage for you. So if you want to know more about how to create leverage over narcissists, definitely check out my video on creating leverage over narcissists. But that's basically the gist of it is, threatening that source of supply that means the most to them. So how do they act when they get exposed? Number one is, I call it lying and denying. They're going to lie to you and say, oh, that wasn't me, that I didn't do that, you're mistaken. They'll deny it and just say, nope. It was somebody else. That's projection. Could be gaslighting. Oh, the text message that you're seeing, you're misreading it. You're reading more into it. You're taking it out of context. I'm thinking back to how in the movie Dirty John, which I was thinking I should do a whole video on this, but in the movie Dirty John, which was based on a true story, by the way, the man who preyed upon the woman lied and said that he was a physician. And he even would like walk around in his scrubs, and he would pretend like he was going to work in these scrubs or whatever. And then her daughter found his diploma, and it turned out he was a nurse, not a doctor. And he spun some web about how he was actually a nurse anesthetist, which has like a doctorate degree. So he actually is a doctor. And she kind of like bought it for a period of time because she just wanted to, have him around. She loved him. She wanted to believe him. So they'll do that. They'll kind of spin these webs and project and deny. And that's like a form of gaslighting, which is, what you're seeing is not actually what you're seeing. It's a way to make you think that you're crazy. It destabilizes you. It weakens you. It makes you question your own mind. And that's what gaslighting is. And that's something that they'll do as well. Another thing that they'll do is what we call future faking. And I have a whole video on this too, if you want to check it out. But future faking is basically, forget the past. Let's just move on from here. The future is the future. I'll be better. Everything will be wonderful. You'll see. So that's another thing that they'll do if they think that they're going to be exposed. Another thing that they'll do is start back to what worked in the beginning. Hoover you, love bomb you. You're the best. We're perfect together. We're supposed to be soulmates. Or if it's a business relationship, I know in my situation, I had a business partner who was a narcissist. And when I started to realize what was going on and expose this other person, now all of a sudden the person started doing all the things that they weren't doing in the beginning, all this stepping up and actually starting to carry some of the weight in the partnership. And it actually, when that starts to happen, it's actually more annoying than ever, because you think, why weren't you doing this the whole time? And if you think that this is so wrong, give me a so wrong in the comments below. All right. So the next thing that you'll see after, if none of those other things work for them, now you've triggered that narcissistic rage. Now that narcissistic injury has been aggravated, and the narcissistic rage will come out, and they'll start to go crazy, and they may even collapse. And I do have a whole video on what happens when a narcissist collapses, what that looks like, or becomes undone. The Hugh Grant movie, The Undoing, is a great example of that. And I have a video on that as well, if you want to check it out. But that's what will definitely happen. So what can you do about it? Because in negotiations, you want to tread lightly until you're ready to unleash your leverage, until you've put together that strategy, which is all part of my SLAY methodology. So which is strategy, leverage, anticipate, and focus on you. So until you're ready to unleash your leverage and really get them to feel squeezed and motivated to come to the negotiation table with you, then what you should do instead are a couple of things. One is bartering. And bartering is a very special way of dealing with a narcissist. This is where you basically give them something that they want to get something that you want. So you might say something like, can you handle updating the QuickBooks and doing the financial projections? You're so much better at that than I am. So you give them a little of that, what I call narcissistic fluffing. You're kind of fluffing up their ego, like you're fluffing up a pillow. You give them a little something, and then you get a little something back. So that's bartering. So that's the first thing that you can do. The next thing that you can do is give them choices. You can say, within a universe of things, would you prefer this or would you prefer that? Or just make whatever it is that you want them to do, make it seem optional. You can do this if you want to. It's okay if you don't. I'll handle it, or it'll get done some other way. And then their ego steps in and it's like, no, I'll do it. But you have to make them think that they have a choice. That it works absolutely beautifully. And that's how you sort of ethically manipulate them into doing something that you want them to do. The next thing that you can do is you can ask them what they think. What do you think about that? What do you think about how this outcome would look, or what do you think about this idea or something like that? And then make them think that they're coming to that conclusion, that they're coming to that idea on their own, so that in a negotiation they may even end up proposing it to you, and then they want to take credit for it, and that's totally fine because you ended up getting what you wanted and they're none the wiser. So those are just a few things that you can do in order to minimize what you're going to get if you just totally expose a narcissist. So, and if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, please grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. And if you want to connect with other people who are negotiating with narcissists, come on over and join my free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And if you like the video, give me a like, give it a share it out with your friends and your family, and also drop me that comment. You know, you think it's so wrong how they act and how they behave and how they treat people? Give me a so wrong in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, now is a great time to do that. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're dealing with a narcissist, I send you light. I send you so much love. And stick around. I'll see you in the next video.